The window sticker on a 2026 F-150 says 13,500 pounds of towing. I have watched a man sign the papers on that truck on a Tuesday and find out on Saturday that it cannot legally pull his own camper. The number that decides what your truck can really do is not on the window sticker at all, and the salesman never once pointed at it. Do you know where it is? There is a small label on the inside of your driver's door, white and yellow, about the size of a playing card. You have to open the door and look down at the frame to see it. Most people never do. I have stood in my service drive and watched a man walk past that label 400 times in 3 years and never read it once. That label is the truth. Everything else is advertising. My name is Ray Dutton. I've been turning wrenches on trucks for 22 years. 11 of those years I spent inside a Ford store, first in the bay, then at the service desk writing up the trucks that came back mad. I have seen more F-150s than I can count. I have seen them come in with the tow mirrors still wrapped in plastic. I have seen them come in on a hook. And I have to tell you something before we go one word further. I got this wrong myself. In 2015, I bought a loaded Platinum. Leather, panoramic roof, 22-inch wheels, 4-wheel drive. I had the money that year, and I spent it. I was proud of that truck. Then I hooked my boat trailer to it and drove 90 miles to the lake, and the whole way the back end felt loose. Like the truck was following the trailer instead of pulling it. I got home and did what I should have done at the dealership. I opened my own door and read my own label. 1,180 pounds. That was my payload. Everything I could legally put in that truck or on it. Me, my wife, my 2 boys, the cooler, the gear, and the weight the trailer pushes down on the hitch ball. 1,180 pounds, total. My boat trailer alone put about 900 pounds on that ball. Add me at 210. I was over the line before anybody else got in. I had bought the most expensive F-150 on the lot, and it could carry less than the cheapest one. Quick word before I go further. The things I learned standing in that service drive, there is more of it than fits in any one video. I gathered the whole of it into a book you can buy in our pinned comment below. The book is the long version. If you want it, it is there. I will not mention it again. That is not a Ford problem, by the way. Chevy does it. Ram does it. Toyota does it. Every truck company advertises a number that belongs to a truck almost nobody buys. But the F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle in this country for close to 50 years, so it is the one that catches the most people. Here is what makes it sting. The 2026 F-150 is a genuinely good truck. 8 trims, 5 engines. It starts at $39,330 for an XL and climbs past $100,000 by the time you get to a Raptor R. There is a version of this truck that is right for almost anybody who wants one. The problem is that the way it gets sold walks most people straight past the right one. I watched it happen every week. A man comes in for an XLT. He leaves in a King Ranch. He is happy. He is also, without knowing it, driving a truck that will do less work than the one he came for. So here is the question you need answered before you sign anything. And almost nobody asks it. Why does the truck that costs the most money do the least work? Let me tell you where that 13,500 pound number comes from. It comes from one truck. One. A very specific build. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine. The Max Trailer Tow Package. A particular rear axle. A long wheelbase, and almost no options on it at all. Ford builds that truck. It is real. It is honest. But you will not find it sitting on a lot, because nobody stocks a plain work truck with the biggest tow package and no leather in it. Every truck on the lot is a different truck than the one in the ad. Now here is the part people have backward, and it is the whole video, so stay with me. Towing is not about towing. Towing is about carrying. When you hook a trailer to a truck, the trailer does not just pull backward, it presses down. That downward push is called tongue weight, and on a normal travel trailer, it runs somewhere between 10 and 15% of what the trailer weighs. I use 13 in my head. It is close enough, and it keeps you honest. An 8,000-pound camper puts about 1,040 pounds straight down on your hitch. That 1,000 pounds does not come out of your tow rating. It comes out of your payload. The same pool of pounds as your kids, your dog, your tools, your fuel cans, your cooler, and you. And here is the piece that gets nearly everybody. The payload number on that door label does not include the driver. It is the truck, as it rolled off the line with a full tank of fuel, subtracted from what the truck is allowed to weigh. You are cargo. Your wife is cargo. The dog is cargo. Nobody at the dealership will say that out loud. Let me give you a real one. I pulled the numbers on a 3.5 EcoBoost Super Crew 4x4. The brochure said 2,100 pounds of payload. The label on that actual truck said 1,673, 427 pounds. Gone. Vanished into leather and glass and four-wheel drive before the truck ever left the plant. Now put a family in it. 2 adults, 2 kids, call it 600 pounds. A weight distributing hitch is another 80 to 100. So you have got roughly 900 pounds left for tongue weight. Divide 900 by 0.13 and you get about 6,900 pounds of trailer. 6,900. On a truck, the window says we'll pull 13,500. And it gets sharper than that. The hitch on an F-150 is rated at 5,000 pounds by itself unless you run a weight distributing hitch. Does not matter which tow package you paid for. 5,000. And almost nobody puts a weight distributing hitch on a boat trailer because boat trailers do not play well with them. So if you are pulling a boat, you are capped a whole lot lower than you think you are. Here is the counterintuitive truth. Write this one down. On an F-150, every dollar you spend makes the truck weaker. Not slower, not worse to drive. Weaker. Every option has weight. Leather seats weigh more than cloth. A panoramic roof is a sheet of glass over your head. 22-inch wheels weigh more than 18s. Four-wheel drive adds a transfer case and a front differential. The hybrid adds a battery pack. A spray-in bed liner is about 50 pounds. Every one of those pounds comes out of your payload, and it never comes back. A $44,000 XLT will outwork a $79,000 Platinum every single time. That is not my opinion. It is arithmetic, and it is printed on the door of both trucks. Which brings us to what you actually do about it. Here's how I shop a truck. Same way every time. In this order. Step 1. Read the door, not the brochure. Before you talk price, before you talk trade-in, walk out to the lot and open the driver's door on the exact truck you are looking at. Look at the door frame. You want the white and yellow label that says tire and loading information. There is one line on it that reads, the combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed, and then a number. That number is your truck. That is the whole truck. Take a picture of it. Here's the trick. Do that on 3 trucks on the same lot. Same trim, same engine, different option boxes. You will watch that number swing 400 or 500 pounds. Then you will understand exactly what those options really cost you, and it is not the dollar figure. Step 2. Do the math backward. Most people pick a truck first and then go shopping for a trailer. Do it the other way around. Take your payload number, subtract everybody who rides with you. Subtract 100 pounds for the hitch. Subtract 150 for gear, because there is always gear. Whatever is left, divide it by 0.13. That is the biggest trailer you can safely pull. Not the biggest one, the trailer salesman tells you. And here is a tip that costs about $30 and has saved more marriages than I can tell you. Buy a tongue weight scale, or buy a weigh-safe hitch with the scale built into the shank. You set it under the coupler, and it tells you the actual number instead of the guess. I have weighed trailers the manufacturer listed at 700 pounds of tongue weight that came in over 1,100 with the water tank full. Water weighs 8 1/3 pounds a gallon. A 50-gallon fresh tank is 415 pounds nobody warned you about. Step 3. Pick the engine for the work, not for the sound. For 2026, there are 5 engines. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost is standard on the XL, the STX, and the XLT. People look down on it because it is the small one. Do not. It makes more torque than most V8s did 15 years ago, and it will handle a boat, a utility trailer, and a bed full of mulch for the rest of your life without complaining. The 3.5-liter EcoBoost makes 500 pound-feet of torque. That is the towing engine. If you pull something heavy, and you pull it often, that is the one. The 5-liter V8, the Coyote, makes 400 horsepower and 410 pound-feet. And here's something new for 2026 that nobody is telling buyers. Ford quietly took the V8 off the King Ranch and the Platinum. If you want 8 cylinders in a 2026 F-150, you can only get it in an XL, STX, XLT, Lariat, or Tremor. The 2 nicest family trims are turbo only now, and most people find that outstanding at the configurator. Then there is the Power Boost Hybrid, 420 horsepower, 578 pound-feet, strongest one on paper, and for 2026, Ford put it on more trims than before. Here's the trick on the hybrid, and this one catches good, careful people. That battery is heavy. The Power Boost often has the best tow rating and the worst payload in the whole lineup. I have seen Power Boost trucks with a 12,700 pound tow rating and 1,140 pounds of payload on the door. Sit with that a second. On paper, it can pull a big trailer. On the door label, it cannot legally carry that trailer's tongue. Buy the hybrid because you want a generator in the bed and more miles per tank. Those are real, and they are good. Do not buy it for the tow number. Step 4. Order it. Do not buy it off the lot. Dealers stock what sells fast, and what sells fast is loaded. When you order, you put the Max Trailer Tow Package on an XLT, and you skip the panoramic roof, the $22,000 and $4,000 of appearance packages. You end up with a cheaper truck that carries more, tows more, and costs less to insure. It takes 6 to 12 weeks. It is worth every week. And the trick on ordering is timing. Place it at the end of a month, or better, at the end of a quarter, when the store is chasing a volume number. A manager will take a deal on the 29th that he would laugh you out of the building for on the 5th. Step 5. Watch the subscriptions. Blue Cruise is Ford's hands-free highway system, and it is genuinely good. For 2026, it is on the XLT and up, and it will change lanes for you when you tap the blinker. Here is what does not get set at the desk. You get 90 days free. After that, it is $49.99 a month, or $495 a year, or you can buy it outright at the time of purchase for $2,495. So, do the math on how you own trucks. If you keep them 7 years, buy it outright and you come out ahead. If you trade every 3, you do not. And one more thing about Blue Cruise that matters most to the people watching this. You cannot use it while towing. So if the reason you want it is those long hauls out to the lake with the camper behind you, it will be switched off for the exact drive you bought it for. Step 6. Check the truck before you sign, even a new one. Take the VIN off the window sticker and run it through the government recall site before you agree to anything. It is free, and it takes 2 minutes. Open recalls sit on brand new trucks on lots all the time. If you are shopping used, and a lot of you are, here is where the money hides. The composite oil pan. On a lot of these trucks, the pan is plastic, and it warps and weeps at the seal. The part is under $100. The labor on a 4-wheel drive truck is $700 to $1,200 because the front differential has to come out to get at it. On the 3.5 EcoBoost, stand at the front and listen at a cold start. If you hear a rattle for more than about 2 seconds, that is the cam phasers. That job is around 17 hours of labor, $2,500 to $4,000. Walk away and do not look back. The 10-speed automatic in these trucks also gets fussy with age, a hard 1-2 shift. A shutter at low speed that feels like a misfire but is really the torque converter arguing with itself. Before you take delivery on any F-150, new or used, ask the dealer to confirm the transmission software is at the current level. It is free, and it quietly fixes most of the complaints I ever wrote up at that desk. Step 7. Know the real starting prices before you walk in. The 2026 XL starts at $39,330, the STX at $41,855, the XLT at $44,695. Those are before destination, before tax, before anything the store adds on. If there is a second sticker on the glass with words like market adjustment or protection package or paint sealant, that is not the price of the truck. That is an opening offer. Treat it like one. Now let me back up, because this is not really about money. An overloaded truck does not usually break. It does something worse. It stops behaving. The rear springs squat. The front end goes light. Your headlights start pointing at the treetops. Your steering gets vague and slow. Your brakes, which were engineered for a certain weight, now need more room than the road in front of you has got. And the trailer, which is now heavier than the truck's ability to control it, begins to move side to side at 70 miles an hour with your family in the back seat. That is what payload really is. It is not a legal technicality. It is the line where the truck stops being able to save you. I rode up a truck once that came in on a hook with the bed rails bent. Man had a slide-in camper. Nice fella. Retired. First summer of it. He told me the salesman said the truck could handle it, and he believed him. And he had close to 800 pounds too much camper on a truck that had never once been weighed. He and his wife walked away from it. The camper took out a guardrail and the trip was over. He said the same thing every one of them says. Nobody told me to look at the door. There is the money side too. That loaded Platinum I bought in 2015, the one that could carry 1,180 pounds, it lost more dollars in 5 years than the plain XLT. My brother-in-law bought that same month. Trucks hold their value better than almost anything on 4 wheels, but the top trims fall the hardest because the fella buying it used will not pay for somebody else's leather. Here is the thing I have learned in 22 years around these trucks. If you take one thing out of this video, take this. The truck that does the job is almost never the truck in the commercial. The commercial truck is dark and shiny, and it climbs a rock at sunset. The truck that does the job is an XLT in a boring color with cloth seats, the tow package, and a payload number that leaves you room to breathe. It is 400 pounds stronger and $30,000 cheaper, and it will still be hauling when the pretty one is sitting on a used lot with a light bar on it. Buy less truck than you were sold. I have never once met a man who regretted that. So here is what I want you to do tonight. It will take you 90 seconds. If you already own an F-150, walk out to the driveway with your phone. Open the driver's door. Look down at the frame. Find the white and yellow label and read the line that says combined weight of occupants and cargo. Take a picture of it so you have got it. Then add up what is normally in that truck. You, everybody who rides with you, the tools in the back seat, the hitch, and the tongue weight of whatever you pull. See how close to the line you have been driving. If you are shopping, do that exact same thing on the lot before you ever sit down at a desk. It will change which truck you point at, and it will change what you pay. Then come tell me in the comments, just the number off your label, and what trim and engine you have got. I read them. I want to see how wide the spread really is between the fancy trims and the plain ones, because I think it is worse than most folks know. Next time, I am going to show you the 10-speed transmission in these trucks. Ford calls that fluid filled for life. I am going to show you exactly where the drain plug is, what the fluid looks like coming out at 60,000 miles, and the part number for the right fluid, because the wrong one will cost you the whole transmission. Until then, read the door. The door does not lie to you.